So when the CIO says to you, give me 5 ROI points,
right.
Where am I going to find value?
Yeah.
Kind of what's the elevator pitch?
Yeah. So what we do is we talk about 4 or 5 broad things that they can connect with immediately. Let me back up for a second. The way we've designed the application is we've integrated out of the box into a series of applications. I'll give you some examples in a second. But we spend the same amount of engineering effort and time on building out APIs.
Okay.
What I call the get out of the way strategy.
Right.
Which is we have customers who have unique needs, and if they want to innovate faster than others, we need to make sure that we give them these APIs so they can start to put it into very specific industry processes or verticalized situations that are just specific to them. So on the use case side, 2 things happen. So I'll give you 2-3 examples. Right? Let's talk about learning. Every organization spends a lot of money on employee learning and enablement, and typically you've gone off and bought learning management systems to do learning, courseware. We said, wait a second, learning happens in 2 ways. One is through courses, but we learn through each other as peers as well. So Jam is infused into your learning management environment where if it's a course you're taking, no problem, you'll take it through a typical learning management system. But what if you worked on a factory floor and there's a tip and a trick you learned about how to do something? Or what if you're in hospitality and you're putting a room together?
Right.
And there's a trick about, like, if I do it in this way, I can get out of each room 2 minutes early times 4,000 rooms. Customers get that.
Right.
It's not about becoming social. It's about taking peer-to-peer knowledge and really pushing it back up. So that's a learning example.
So that's almost like harvesting your institutional knowledge.
Yes, and making it
and making it searchable.
Right, exactly. So
Okay.
I may get a course back, but I may also get 3 of your colleagues in different parts of the world have done this, and they've got a better way.
Yeah.
And here it is, right? CRM. We again brought in the experts. SAP has 40 years of domain expertise. We didn't dream this up, right? We co-innovated with 22 customers, and said, let's talk about really how your deal cycles work. And it turned out that once an opportunity lands in your lap, the process of assembling the team, finding the right experts, working together, even bringing the customer into that conversation is very ad hoc. And so we emulated that in the digital environment where Jam is infused inside SAP CRM, sucks in all the transactional data from CRM, so it's not a dumb social terminal. It actually brings in the transactional data.
Okay.
To the customers, the lead, the size, the retail, whatever facts, documents, and it runs algorithms based on social profiles as to who should I recommend, but also the deal profile. It's a deal in the Midwest in utilities. Who has the experience? So you start to get a much more enriched set of data that emulates what you would have done in the real world anyway. So I'm not trying to make you social here. I'm trying a more effective way to go through the opportunity.
It almost sounds like you're adding a contextual layer
Yeah.
that's looking at the context of what you're trying to do.
That's right.
And going out there and assisting you by bringing things to you.
You got it. And then another example, and I love using this one because people normally laugh when you say, it's around finance. And they're like, finance and social, it shocks them, right? There's even something that can be done there. And we spent a lot of time on it. And it turns out that whilst I don't think Jam's going to replace Microsoft Excel or business analytics from SAP,
right,
there actually are, in fact, a lot of cross-functional processes run by the CFO's office that are collaborative. Collaborative sales budgeting, demand folks, supply folks. You bring all these people together in an auditable way. You look at what we've done with our finance on demand products, where numbers that come out of your financial applications and your analytics applications on an iPad app, you could put your finger on it, circle it, it'll pop Jam up and show you a Procon table or show you whatever collaborative metaphor you need to say, because I got to get a couple of people and make a decision. That's not social, that's just better finance.
So let's take it into another area, supply chain.
Yeah, love the area, love it.
Where do you see, especially if you have a complex supply chain involving a lot of different people?
Yeah.
Where do you see the real core collaboration points and the value?
So there's 3 areas in supply chain. One is, and I love that you asked me that because I think it's an untapped area. There's 3 primary areas. One is on an ongoing basis, the amount of work and expense that organizations go through to enable and onboard new suppliers is an area that's just waiting to get a little more sophisticated solutions, just waiting to solve those kinds of problems. I think we've done that. Inbuilt in the Jam platform is onboarding and learning capabilities. So your ability to make sure that You're onboarding partners effectively, both structured and unstructured, right? You've got a mechanism to do constant enablement because your product specs are changing. It's not one-time enablement and you're done. Every quarter something changes, and you need to educate your partners. Jam takes care of all of that. Then they're working. They're trained, they're enabled, now you're working. Compliance, exception handling, and things like invoices, dispute resolution. There's all these things that just are not sort of go through a submit cancel process because it's an exception. I want to have a discussion around this. Invoice doesn't look right. So infusing collaboration in these, core procurement and network processes, again, it's not about becoming social. It's better supply chain.